Hey guys, before we start off today's video, y'all make sure you smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn on the notification bells. Here on this channel, we upload trailer reactions, we do movie reviews, and we update everyone in the wonderful world of movies by uploading movie news once they come out. We talk about Star Wars, DC, Marvel, Lord of the Rings, The Godfather, all kinds of movies. So if you're into that kind of stuff, you're in the right place. This is a channel for movie fans and for us movie geeks to geek out about the wonderful world of movies. So if you like movies and if you're a big cinephile like I am, then you're in the right place. Now, let's cue that intro. What is up, guys? Welcome back to another brand new video here on the Isaac the Film Geek channel, and today we're going to be discussing video game movies and my problem with most video game movies and why I believe most of them suck. But before I get into this, just learn that, all film is subjective. All these opinions are subjective. This isn't based on facts. This isn't based on research or facts or knowledge or something like that. This is just based on my own personal point of view, my own personal opinions here on the channel. And today I'm just going to be discussing video game movies, but the reason why I'm inspired to do this video is Mortal Kombat. We all know Mortal Kombat's coming around, and I feel like I don't talk too much about the video game movie genre. My first video on this channel is actually a movie discussing why I didn't like the Sonic movie. I had to delete the video because there's so much copyrighted content on it that I just had to take it down, and I wish I kept that video because honestly that video was one of my favorite ones to do, especially since it was my first one, and I remember I went full on editing on that video. I didn't even have a computer back then, but also for all my subscribers, I just got a new camera, so I mean right now I think you can see better HD than my other camera. My other camera was just my MacBook camera. Now I got this little Logitech HD 180p camera, and it's much better. I mean, just compare this video to my other videos. I think the HD looks much better. Either that or I'm crazy, but yeah, y'all expect better camera quality, because honestly, one thing I've hated from my videos was the camera quality. But now we've improved in this situation. But anyways, video game movies have been a touchy subject because for years it's been, video game movies are bad, video game movies tend to be bad, and we never ask ourselves what is the reason that video game movies suck. And I remember when the Mortal Kombat trailer dropped, I'm gonna be honest, the Mortal Kombat trailer looked pretty good, but I'm also gonna be honest, I've never played any of the Mortal Kombat video games. I'm not the biggest gamer out there. I'll occasionally play some video games, but I don't think I can be considered a gamer. Like, it depends what the definition of gamer really is. So I guess I'm not really, but I guess I am in a way. Yeah, like I'll play occasional games, but wait, that's enough of that. But when the Mortal Kombat trailer dropped, all it reminded me of is the whole video game movie genre, how it's criticized, how lots of people don't like video game movies. And it's kind of weird because we just came off of our most successful video game movies back to back. Detective Pikachu did really well at the box office, and critics and fans loved it. Sonic the Hedgehog, that movie, it did exceed expectations, and it made $700 million in the box office, and it also got a good critic and audience reception. The only thing is Detective Pikachu, people expected it to make $1 billion in the box office. I am sorry, but that was a stupid expectation. A lot of people said, oh, but Pokemon's the biggest IP in the world. Well, I'm sorry, but that does not translate to box office scores. I mean, let's be honest with that. But regardless, video game movies up until Detective Pikachu have been all movies that people just hated. For the most part, me personally, I don't like any video game movie except Detective Pikachu. Assassin's Creed till this day is still one of the most disappointing movies I've ever seen in a theater. I'm sorry, Assassin's Creed. I went into it full on wanting to love it, but the movie was just so bad that I don't know. But I don't want to discuss individual movies. I want to discuss why is it that video game movies tend to do terrible. And the answer is actually really simple. It's a very simple one that I've told my friends. A lot of them disagree with me, but I think this is the simple solution. And the I think the simple reason as to why video game movies are struggling or have struggled in the past is because they're forgetting the number one priority that a movie should take, and that is make it a good movie. Sounds simple, right? That's a really hard task. Making a good movie on its own already is pretty tough. A lot of people always say, "How do you not make a good movie?" I'm telling you, making a good movie is tough on its own, and video game movies seem to kind of put that as the second priority. Their number one priority is to follow the video game lore, and every time I hear people complain about video game movies that are gamers, their number one complaint is there wasn't enough lore, and it got me thinking. Do video game movies really need to go into the lore? And then I thought to myself, I think video game movies need to be inspired by comic book movies. Comic book movies right now are massively successful, regardless if you like them or not. One thing you have to admit is that they're massively successful. I mean, look at Endgame. It hit record-breaking numbers. It beat Avatar at the box office, a record no one ever thought we'd ever accomplish breaking. And then even Aquaman made $1 billion in the box office. There's been so many successful comic book movies, but we've yet to get that video game movie. I mean, except Sonic, but and even though I don't like the Sonic movie, I will admit it did something that I really loved, and that is it did not try going into the lore. What it did was establish these characters, why we should like them, the world around them, and just go through the story rather than just exposition about the whole movie. And that was my main problem with Assassin's Creed. To me, Assassin's Creed is the worst video game movie of all time because all it did was focus on going into the lore. It tried way too hard to go more into the details of what makes this world rather than actually making it a good world that we can all like. And that is my main problem with video game movies. They seem to think, oh, let's put all the lore instead of actually putting good story. And when I tell my friends this, they're like, well, you need to put the lore. Do you really know? Look at comic book movies as a massive example. Do movies actually follow the comics? I mean, Captain America Civil War is very different from the comics. X-Men Days of Future Past, that's very different from the comics. And that's what I'm saying. You don't have to go into the lore. Now, yes, you can take inspiration from the lore, but I think it's more important you make a good movie rather than just trying to get into the lore. And that is my main problem with video game movies. They don't seem to understand that. They seem to think, oh, wait, we got to satisfy the gamers first. Let me tell you, your main priority should be making a good movie for the general audience, because the general audience makes up a large population of the film-going community. And like comic book movies, 30% of the audience are established comic book fans. The other percentage are people you're trying to reel into to becoming a comic book movie fans. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I have such a runny nose today, and that is my main thing that I was trying to discuss today. That video game movies aren't seeming to understand that. In Mortal Kombat, Assassin's Creed, there's just been so many movies that are based off video games that rather than making a good movie the main priority, you can sense the feeling that they're trying to establish, a feeling for gamers. And yes, I maybe put in a few nods to the video game lovers, but you also have to understand that most of the people watching these movies are not gamers. They're just your average film-going consumers, and they just happen to like a trailer, and you not delivering that promise is a very big disappointment. And, when I told this to some of my friends, they were telling me, oh, but the movie needs to establish the lore. They need to establish, the background. We need to understand why we like these characters. Or, well, that is true. But their main thing was they need to satisfy the gamers because the gamers are their main fans. And that's just simply not true. Yes, they do make up a large priority, but it's, for the most part, it's the general audience. It's the same thing with comic book movies. Comic book movies, the reason why there's so many people who aren't comic book fans loving these movies is because the movies aren't for comic book fans specifically. They're for the general audience, and they'll slightly hint at towards comic book fans who are already established who love this universe. And it's like having a company. If you have a restaurant, you don't want you might have the same 3 customers show up every day. However, you're going to want to expand that. You're going to want to have more and more customers. And instead of, just delivering to those 3 customers, you're also going to want to deliver to other customers. That's simple. That's simple how business works. Video game movies have not done that. Video game movies, they just continue to stop. And they're like, all right, let's think about the video game lovers first. then the general audience. That does not make you the money. That does not make you the big bucks. That's why video game movies have failed. Stop showing us the lore and show us why we should like these characters. And the Sonic movie, even though I don't like the Sonic movie established very well how you should do a video game movie, how you should do it. Because look, even though I don't like it, the critics loved it, the audience loved it, and it made a ton in the box office. Why? Because the movie didn't try getting into video games. What it did was get a video game character and make their own story with it. And that's another thing that most video game fans tend to complain about. They're like, oh, they need to be video game accurate because we grew up with that video game and we need them to be accurate. And I'm not gonna lie, being a comic book fan, I kind of relate. Sometimes I've been like, they need to be comic accurate, but throughout the years, I've kind of been less and less on that. I'm like, no, you don't need to be comic accurate. Just make a good story. And that's my thing. Why should you just do a copy and paste? I'm just gonna use an example. Let's say they do a Mario movie, and let's say they don't have Luigi as his brother. Let's say they just ignore Luigi. Would that really matter if they're just making a good movie? What if they don't have an intentions to put Luigi into the movie because they just don't know how to make that character? And that to me is just how I saw it the whole time. And you don't have to go copy and paste. And I think that's something video game movies also tend to worry about. The gamers are still going to be mad. Gamers are still going to be angry if you change anything. In fact, making a movie on its own, people call it unoriginal. I am sorry, but the same people that complain about unoriginality in Hollywood are the same people who only go watch blockbusters but forget about all the smaller indie movies. The reason why they make these big blockbuster films is because the audience have shown that that's the kind of movie they want to watch, and it is not an unoriginal, because making a good movie is hard on its own, regardless if it's a reboot, sequel, whatever. And that's just what I gotta say. that's just what I gotta say, man. Video game movies, they need to improve on that thing. And Sonic, even like I said, although I don't like it, I like how they, instead of just going plain copy, let's make Tails his best friend. Let's have Dr. Eggman be bald from the beginning with the mustache, or let's instead of Earth, let's go in, what was the background place called? I don't know, but the first level mission. Let's just take place in that world, the whole movie. No, the Sonic movie was like, you know what? We'll take inspiration from that character, but we'll make our own story. Video game movies and comic book movies do this already, but video game movies specifically, that's what you gotta do. Take these characters, and with your own inspiration, you make your own movie. Regardless if it's accurate, regardless if it fits the lore. Yes, at the end of the day, the main priority should not be accuracy, whatever that means. That's not the main priority. The main priority is to make a good movie. And that's what every movie. But video game movies tend to have had that terrible issue. In the Mortal Kombat trailer, the Mortal Kombat trailer to me looks pretty good. I'm just hoping they don't fall into that victim category of video game movies that just forgot how to make a good movie. And that's really all I gotta say. Y'all drop down in the comments below what you think on this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I can't wait to see you next time. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter, which are up here on the screen already. And y'all make sure to smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn on the notification bells. I have a better camera right now, so I guess life is all good, brothers. And thank you guys for watching. Peace.